Hello everybody, welcome back to Gungeon with me, Flik, and my Twitch audience, and probably a bits message from Hugh in about 20 seconds. I'm playing as the Bullet Bunny today, because I haven't for a little while. I knew it. See? Told you. YouTube's and hello there, Flik, and possibly Maya. Oh god, a bunch of alerts is about to go off. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There you go. Reinhardt's a little slow sometimes. Thank you, Starlight the Cat, for 5 months in a row. Hey Flik, thanks for all the videos. You are very welcome. Thank you for sticking with that name and not changing it, even though it was like last year I played... Wasn't last year for Deus Ex? The one with Starlight the Cat in it? I want to say it was definitely last year, actually, yeah. Mankind Divided was last year, right? It's gotta be. It was last year, I thought so. You know how I know that? Because as you might know if you were looking on Twitter, I've started putting together my list for top 5 best and worst games I played this year, since it's a tradition that I do that every December. So I've got my list finalised, I just need to collect some... I'm probably just going to use like gameplay footage from official trailers, rather than go get some myself, since that should be free to use. Wait for it. Oh, right, Hugh did more bits. But they weren't enough to set off an alert, so nope, don't wait for it. Thank you, though, Hugh. I was actually thinking, just before the stream started, of other old games I could go back to just for the sake of playing on stream, because I want to. And I think someone in Discord the other day there... Oh. Just straight up lockpicks. We're the pilot, but better. I'm you, but stronger. I think someone in Discord asked the other day, like, what's a game or games you wish you could play on stream but don't because you think no one will watch them or not be interested? I kinda want to go back and play Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron, the two really good High Moon Studios Transformer games. They're really, really good. And then you get to call me a nerd and not be a nerd back, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only big Transformers fan here who's old enough to have enjoyed Gen 1. Unironically, at the time it aired. But I was just thinking, well, the thing that like got me thinking about it in the chat before the stream started, I linked the pub playlist and I was listening to music from that, and one of the songs in that is The Touch by Stan Bush, which is my favourite song ever. And that reminded me, because there's a remix of The Touch in one of those games. I was like, oh, it's been ages since I played either of those, and they're both really good. The multiplayer in the first one was actually exceptionally good. Well, yeah, you already call me a nerd, but for stuff like 40k and like weeb shit, there's people here who also have those interests, so at least I'm not the only one. But I think I'm the only one here who's very enthusiastic about old school Transformers. They shaped my childhood. 2 blue chests. We haven't found the shop yet. Hello, Neon. Valkyria Chronicles I keep meaning to go back to. The problem with that is the levels in Valkyria Chronicles take so long. And they're also bloody difficult. Oh, there was a... That was next to an explosive barrel, wasn't I? I was not paying attention. Well, there is half a heart on the floor. I'm just going to try and make sure I don't lose any more health without opening one of those chests. That was dumb. I thought I knew which room it was, and I didn't think there was an explosive up there. Oh, that's a very nice reward. Thank you. You're old enough to have unironically enjoyed Transformers Beast Wars. I didn't like Transformers Beast Wars. I thought it looked dumb. So the general gist I'm getting here is me going back to War of Cybertron and... They were idiots. And Fall of Cybertron wouldn't drive people away. I know it's not going to be everybody's bag, but I don't want to play something that will drive people away. And 25 for the armor. Might come back for that after the ball. Oh, there's still room to clip. Someone was also asking, I think it was Zeppo was asking before the stream started, when I'm planning on actually going back to Dark Souls 2 for the randomizer that I mentioned in the channel update. My plan is not this weekend, but the weekend after is the weekend where the Monster Hunter World Beta is open on PS4. So my plan was to fill the gap after that until the end of January with stuff like going back to Dark Souls 2. Now, if I run out of ideas between then and now, like if we wrap up South Park super quick, I'm not sure, it might happen sooner. I don't know what Kurt's doing regarding like when he's getting his PS4, or if he's getting Bloodborne with it. He's addicted to another MMO right now, so he's lost us basically. Is that... What is that noise? I think that's the wind. Like, the wind has gotten like super strong in the evening, and I think that was probably one of my bins falling over. In fact, I'm going to stand up and look out my window, my office window, and confirm for you whether or not that's the case. Yep. Brown bin fell over. It's fine, the brown one is for gardening waste and there's nothing in mine. I usually just leave it falling over, because just because of the way it's positioned, anytime there's a strong wind it always gets knocked over. That's the exploding crossbow? That's good. It can't be worse for viewer numbers than Dawn of War 2. Dawn of War 2 is fine on stream, because everybody gets behind the orcs. Dawn of War 2 on YouTube is doing worse than anything of recent memory, which is a great shame. What's it like outside temperature wise? Mid-afternoon it was 5 degrees Celsius. I don't know, it's probably colder now, it feels colder. Yeah, so weekend starting December 9th and the Monster Hunter World Beta is out. I also missed another Skype message there I think, but we'll fight the boss first. If I get hit we'll switch to... Oh wait no, I have armor, I don't need to switch. If I get hit a lot I'll switch to the sticky crossbow. That's a very cheeky little fast fire you did there. The bionic leg passive is one armor one time, right? It's not a gun knight thing, so you don't get one every floor. The speed up is nice though. A bunny on a mission. The serfs want more carrots. Black Desert Online, that's the one that Kurt's playing. That's the, it's not the Dead Space gun, it's... What is this again? Oh, it's just like a Super Meat Gun, but not as good. That's right. I'm going to go to a shop, we'll check for Secret Room. Secret Room is not here, I'm going to buy armor. We're going to go back, and I'm going to quickly check that Skype message while I teleport. While I quickly go down to the next floor. I bet it was in here. Thank you, I'm glad you enjoyed the last 40k video. It is not doing so great for views, no. Actually, interestingly, the other thing I considered doing for this episode, although we can maybe do that in the next one once more people have filtered in, is like just take more random questions from the audience. But I was looking into it because December, we're not quite in December I know, but November and December for YouTube is meant to be the best time of year for earnings, and it compensates for the fact that January, February, March-ish are the worst. But because of the adpocalypse, which is happening again incidentally because, well, it's not going to have as big an effect because it was the BBC that ran this story and not anywhere in America, but they decided to go into the comment sections of kids videos and find people like writing dirty comments about the kids or the kids presenters, and they insinuated that every single person leaving a comment like that was a paedophile instead of the reality, which is probably kids being pricks or being edgy. But either way, they were like, oh, this many retailers have now withdrawn ads from YouTube. It was mostly big supermarket chains in the UK and Europe. Either way, it's kind of like MK2 Adpocalypse to a smaller degree because it's mostly Europe. But I decided to look into the first 40k battle report I did, which is nearing 2,000 views, which is, you know, it's about my norm now. And I was horrified that a half-hour long video with with 2,000 views. You know how much that's earned me? And I don't usually be exact about my earnings on YouTube, and it does vary, so keep in mind. The average view duration of that battle report is about 7 minutes, for reference. The earnings on that video, $4.40, which is not normal. Ooh, hello. Want that. It's pathetically low. That's a CPM of like $2 something, which is pathetic. That's like roughly how much you earn per 1,000 monetized views, in case you're curious. Although keep in mind, obviously, that's total views, not total monetized views. Monetized views of that would be something like 40%. Which is still bad, I guess, but not quite as bad. Wait, did I say something that sounded weird in my accent? I'm not saying December with a Z. Although maybe I should. That sounds like something a hip person would do. I'm going to rebrand December. Have you seen like Christmas stuff out yet? If you work in retail, it's cheating to say yes. Should not have taken that. Although to be fair, it also spawned on me. Hello, Lana. No chat. It's the way you say December. That's how it's pronounced.
Oh.
Oh, I'm back to the start. Thank you, Poppy, for the bits. Don't Merry Christmas me ever again. Like businesses and whatnot putting up Christmas stuff, that's just desperation. Like the sooner Christmas starts for them, the sooner they can charge more for less and start making some money. But I think that if you put Christmas decorations up in your house prior to December 1st, you should legally be allowed to be shot. I know that's a little harsh. Oh, ghost bullets. But I think that's harsh but fair. Like, you can put up your Christmas decorations on November 15th if you want, but if anyone catches you, they're allowed to shoot you. Isn't that a fair way to do it? Flik is Krampus confirmed. Oh, if you kill me, I will drop a lump of coal. Wait, no, that would entice you. No, I'll just drop my head. The crap I am. What are you eyeing me for, Oblivious? You're a mean one, Mr. Flik. I don't like Christmas. On the week of Christmas, that's fine. Also, like, the rule I learned from my mother is 2 weeks before to 2 weeks after. In other words, 2 weeks before Christmas, you can put Christmas stuff up, and the Christmas stuff can come down no later than 2 weeks after Christmas. If it's getting to January 1st, that's fine. You know, have it over New Year. If you're getting to January 15th, though, and your Christmas stuff ain't down yet, then the you get shot rule applies. Again, harsh but fair. The Grinch didn't hate Christmas, he hated people. You think you have won, you think all is well, but kiss my green ass, I will see you in hell. Oh, the air gun, which now I know if you get hit while firing, loses all the ammo. There was a gigantic, poorly made Santa in a cheap supermarket I was at last week. And every time someone walked past it, it set it off to sing a copyright-free Christmas song. So I imagined that for the people who were working there, it was pure hell. But it was worse than that, because it wasn't just the people walking past triggering this giant Santa to dance and whatnot. It's that whatever speakers were inside the stupid thing were like 50 years old, because it sounded terrible quality. There are houses around here that put Christmas lights up after Halloween and keep them up until Valentine's Day. Get a Molotov cocktail and burn them. Oh right, yeah, heavy bullets, so it's going to be real slow. But hopefully real damaging? heavy bullets does make it do more damage, right? It isn't just literally it slows down the bullet. In which case, in this case rather, is a glowing sword. Yeah, she's almost half dead, so it seems about right for it being stronger. Still taking a little while, but they did nerf the sword, so. That's why we've got to get in there and try and do both hits. It's awkward, so let's just stop that attack. Wow, you're loving those little sprays. You saw a lawn Santa up before Halloween. These are cries for help from the mentally ill. I forgot what this even does. It like shields you for a little bit. I guess... No. No. I'll just take this. I'm not doing a full Curse Bunny bullet next, no. Oh yeah, being a retail worker this time of year sucks. For a whole bunch of reasons. The Christmas songs on repeat. People being especially tetchy because they're surrounded by their irritating kids who want every toy. Yeah, I don't know what you just tweeted at me, but no. I can't read what it is from this angle. One was not enough for the kill, eh? 2 for the kill. Poke your head up. I get enough of this shit in Isaac. It's a lovely gif. Okay. Don't trust you at all. Oh, as a brief update about my internet connection, since I forgot to do that at the start of the stream, just in the hands of the raid team, or whatever the hell it's called, that's looking into whether or not electrical noise is a big issue and what, if it is, what the source is. So I won't get an update until Friday. And my upload is still at like 7 point something. Although my download actually went up again, and right now it's sitting at like 71 or something. But I don't need that. I don't want a super fast download. I want my upload as good as it can be. I also would like it to actually be stable and stop resetting itself. That's all I want for Christmas. A special room that requires a key. Oh, it worked. And it's Link. Good. Your wife loves Christmas. Well, in that case, it's not your fault. We'll have to do like that Goodwill Hunting scene where it's not Chris B's fault, it's his wife's. Mafia Frog in a Scrooge McDuck outfit. Who says Mafia Frog hates Christmas? If people freely spend cash, maybe he loves it. Are you lot arguing about gift now? Also, why did that sword bounce? Oh chat, I have a story to tell. I told it in Discord, and I also provided proof that it was real. It's about a game it's not even a game that I was approached about. It was a game where the developers were bitching to me, not about anything I did, but about what Steam did. And I don't know why. As in, I don't know why they're telling me. I've never had any prior conversation with them. I've never been told about the game, let alone express an interest. It was a game that came out on Steam a few days ago, and after a couple of days got banned from Steam for being porn. And now you might be thinking, oh, I bet it's one of those Sprite ones, because they're basically porn. No, It was a VR game in which you watch ladies give lap dances. Oh, sorry, not lap dances, pole dances. And they specifically said in the email, it's not porn, it is sexual, but it's not porn. You watch ladies dancing with poles, and yes, they can be naked, but it's not porn. So the game is real. I showed Discord the trailer. But the weirdest part is, I don't understand why they're telling me. It's like they're saying, oh, Steam thinks this is porn, so now we're not on the Steam store. It was kind of like they were talking to me as if I was Steam. So I don't know. And I can't tell because the CC list was hidden, whether or not it was just sent to me or a bunch of people. I think what they're maybe trying to do is create public outcry about the situation for their porn game not being allowed on Steam. Like, Steam is allowed to have and not have whatever it likes on it. Quite frankly, I think there's way too many pseudo-porn games on Steam. And while I don't necessarily think watching a lady pole dance is porn, it's a VR game that exists just to jack off to, right? There's no way to win. You just watch a lady dancing. And you can make her be naked. Also, it's very sexist because there's no male pole dancing option. They want someone to take up their cause. Yeah, that was my initial impression, although usually indie devs that are like that, they don't hide the CC list, the carbon copy list, so you can tell how many people they're sending it to. And why a random YouTuber you've had no contact with? Why not? Well, I guess I understand why not games journalist websites, because they all have SJW boners. It's a very rude shape of poison on the floor there. But that was one of the weirdest emails I've received. I try not to check my email on Monday, so I don't actually know if I got it today or if it arrived yesterday. I also got approached in a kind of a... It's not related, it's not about a porn game that got banned from Steam. I got invited to do some sponsored content via a tournament of a game. That's a game I've never played and have no interest in. So I don't think I'll be partaking. I should probably go open that chest, huh? Oh, this is going to get interesting. Okay. It means I'm going to have a very hard time if I'm in like tight corners like this because the bullets get stuck on stuff. But it's going to be interesting. Men don't need a pole for pole dancing because they already have one of their own. I don't think that's what it's for. I do like these snake swords I can now fire. We're looking for the other chest. That was pretty sweet. Praise the helix! Or a gunny is fine. Our guns ain't that great, but luckily we've got a lot of armor, meaning I can just get away with using the sword, and we can cash in at Link now as well. I have your map. Oh, silver bullets. It's been a long time. I think I might only have ever got this on a run I did off camera. It makes you do crap tons more damage against jammed enemies and is a slight damage up versus bosses. Had I have gone full curse, this is the item you want. And I think this is only the second time I've ever seen it. Link's non-union Mexican equivalent, yes. Oh, playing through the Stick of Truth again for Twitch reminded me that there's probably a new series out on DVD that I haven't watched yet, so that arrived for me today. Series 20, I think? It's the one where the first episode of it is the Memberberry one. I know that because they're on the back. I haven't actually watched it yet, though. Although I forgot that they made their seasons only 10 episodes now, so they could do more things. So I was going to hold off until Monday, but I could probably just knock that, watching that like tomorrow. Why am I dodging the shots instead of shooting them? Pardon me? That season was weird, you say? Well, I did wonder when I opened up the DVD cover and the first thing is Butters with his pants down, and then the inside cover is everyone with their pants down. So yeah, I can tell without watching it yet that it's a weird one. I'll read that out in a second once the boss is dead. Get destroyed. That was a flawless, despite what you say. Thank you, Neon Predator, for a year in a row. You're a Super Saiyan God. So it didn't give me this option on the computer on Saturday. Oh, I was talking to Rydog before the stream about this. I think if you resub early, you can't do the message until the day has actually passed. That's 2 speed ups. That's probably... No, I don't think it's made much of a difference. I was going to say that's probably too much speed, but it's hard to tell. On that note, it's a new month, or it's about to be a new month, so your Twitch Prime might be ready, and if you don't use it here, Mafia for All will hurt your family. Now you might think that sounded like a threat, but it was actually just a statement of fact, so therefore it was not a threat. Aha! Oh good, it's the bullet gun. I assume since you're asking me what you think of, or what I think of the sorcerer drawing, you're the one who did it, and you've changed your name to Horse Son. I liked it, I'll include it in my next channel update. I do that for all the fan art I receive of the channel. Although just keep in mind if it's ever anything lewd like has happened in the past, I have to censor it. For the 2 people who sent me butt mousepad pictures. Lewd is crude. And Mr. YouTube won't allow it. Actually, I really should say Mrs. YouTube, given that YouTube is run by that... What's her name? The lady who probably didn't even sign the letter I have from her that's signed for when I got 100,000 subscribers. Susan... something... I'd be very excited if she saw those emails. Letters, rather, not emails. How lewd is too lewd? Well, on YouTube these days, basically any level of lewdness. Like, remember that part of the Stick of Truth where I opened up a random house and there was a guy in a gimp mask fucking a horse? That's too high on the lewdness scale. Just a little bit too high. Also, there's a lot more nudity and horribleness to come in that game as I start to remember what comes later in the game. Remind me what the mustache does, chat? Is that just a shop-related thing? Yeah, I haven't seen the cigarettes in a long time. Good, cigarettes are bad. Just doing anything on YouTube is lewd. Just doing anything on YouTube right now is very difficult, as I was saying earlier before I distracted myself. This is supposed to be the best earning period of the year. It's supposed to cover the bad months that follow. It's not gonna, so thank God for Twitch, but Twitch also isn't really doing that great either. I don't mean to sound morose or melancholy about it. I got very little sleep last night because for whatever reason my shoulder just started hurting last night, and no matter how I could lie, it was just hurting regardless. I took a painkiller this morning and it's been fine since. Really, what I should have done when I realised I was waking up every hour with pain was, hey, go take a painkiller in the middle of the night, you fool. But that would involve getting out of bed, and it was super cold. I'm not saying I need a new bathtub, no, my current bathtub is very good, thank you. That's why I'm specifically not mentioning how much it's costing me to get some new radiators that I've been talking about. I now know what it's going to cost me, and it hurts my soul as a Scotsman how much it's going to cost me. But Christmas is a time where you look out for yourself and your family. You don't look out for strangers on the internet. Oh! It's the trash cannon. Thank goodness I can get away with using the sword. What did I say that was old? Oh, old people problems about feeling cold and getting a sore shoulder for no reason. I was worried it was torticollis again, but it's not close enough to the neck for it to be that. It wasn't close enough to the neck. If I kill him before killing the summoner, he just summons another one, right? Yeah. Where are you, little shit? You get sore and cold constantly, and you're 20. I'm cold because it's like genuinely cold, when the heating in the house isn't very adequate, which is why I'm getting better heating, which is also probably going to be more expensive heating. But I need warmth. Oh, hello there. How's your sex life? Oh, don't have a sex life, you're dead. Okay, good. Got another heart. Do I get cold sores? They make cream for that. I didn't say I get cold... it's going to be the High Priest. Whatever, we'll just fight him now. I know I haven't done the floor, we'll finish the floor. Just get this BS over with. Oh no. Oh, you're doing this attack again already, huh? Damn. Why didn't I get hit there? Also, why didn't my sword cut the bullet? Get out of the way. That's a flawless 2. How high is the priest? 420 blaze it. Hashtag. Oh. See, you've given me spice. It's just a little spice. It's just a little spice. Not a lot of spice, just a little spice. You don't need to tell me to do it, I did it instantly. Using it once, there's no harm at all. Using it twice, 3 times, 4 times, there's no harm at all. Using it more than that, you're gonna have a problem. And I said no cigarettes. Spice is like cigarettes, except good for you. And I'm not just saying that because I have stocks in spice. Get your Kagi Bunshin weeb shit out of here. One of the item room on this floor that is passive or inactive is going to be spice now, like 100%. So we're getting 2 uses. We're now definitely like borderline too fast. And while we're all excited about spice, I'd like to bring down the room by talking about 40k for a second. More people seem to be interested in seeing Tyranids as opposed to Tau in the next battle report that I do. Don't have very many of them painted, so I've started to factor some of them into my painting, even though I haven't quite finished. Charmball, okay. Finished the Dark Imperium set. The first one, not the one that Stormballer sent me.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
So I have started doing that, but I need to put some models together as well. Thank you, Tabas Verag. for the very generous protection money. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. It's a wonderful quote. Fear is a mafioso amphibian in a trench coat that you've pissed off. Not you specifically, I just mean in general, that's what fear is. Unless it's the day of his daughter's wedding. And he actually has a lot of those because he has about 5 billion tadpoles. Well, he and his missus. I don't know why, but I'd like to think that Mafia Frog's wife is voiced by Kate Mulgrew. Whatever her name was. Janeway. Do you have a moment to talk about your God and Saviour 40k? We'll see how long term the battle reports do, but yeah, the second one is not doing as well as the first one. So as it turns out, the views for the first one did include the kind of, what's this market. Glad I got this after fighting the High Priest. Why are they not on me? Oh, because my movement speed is too fast. I can actually outrun the glass shards. Thank you, Dystopian Citizen, for 8 months in a row. No message. Oh, and also via Twitch Prime, but thank you. What is the Twitch Prime look right now, anyway? It's like a Hearthstone thing still, right? Although by the time this goes on YouTube, it'll be whatever it is for December. Give me spice, 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 spice. Spice, spice, spice. That's not spice. Spice! That's not spice. Poison immunity. Get out of here. Get. Hearthstone card pack. I played Hearthstone a little bit. I don't mind it. I think it's fine. I don't know how it's changed since like 2 years ago. I had a short-lived series where every Friday I would play a different person. I think the problem with tactical card games though, that Slay the Spire has this a little bit as well, and cites a lot of backseat. Do you really think I'm playing optimally while I'm trying to read chat with however many people while also playing and trying to keep momentum going rather than deliberating what the best thing to do every single turn is? Oh yeah, Flame in the Flood. Full game available until the 29th. Ah, I did a Let's Look out of that. It is, that's the one where it's a sort of roguelikey thing where you're on the boat with the dog trying to get downstream while also surviving. I found it very difficult. But it has a doggo. If it's the one I'm thinking of. With my speed ups, this should be easy. Get wrecked! You get wrecked as well! And you! Give me spice! 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 Spice? Oh good, more Thor hammers. Oh, chat! I have a question regarding Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe. I think we're just going to take this. I know this has nothing to do with what we've been talking about this episode, and it's not obviously going to relate well for YouTube because we spoke about this on Sunday's stream. In the Marvel Universe, does Spider-Man not have spider sense? And if not, why not? And if he does have it, why is he so oblivious and constantly taken by surprise in Homecoming? I'll wait. I want to know. See, my theory is he doesn't have it, and the reason he doesn't have it is just so hilarity can ensue by him being so utterly incompetent and not aware of his surroundings constantly, so he can get caught doing things. Oh, I've got silver bullets. You're screwed, buddy. Give me spice. I don't think it's a spoiler to say, obviously, his friend catches him, because that's in every single trailer. He does not. Yeah, that's what I thought. Spidey sense is a cool power. I like it, and I don't like that he doesn't have it. But I understand why he can't, because otherwise the plot can't happen. I can actually outrun the Thor hammer. Give me spice! Isn't Spider-Man just Iron Man's equivalent of Robin now? Apparently that's how he was first introduced into comics. Or at least the kind of like Avenger universe or something. I briefly watched part of a documentary on the Blu-ray release. Ah! I got stuck in his corpse. In the comics he does kind of become a protege of Tony Stark. And he does get a Iron Man-esque suit. He becomes the Iron Spider. That's what he has in Civil War, as in like the comic version of Civil War, until Tony Stark tries to kill him. Because Tony Stark is the villain of Civil War, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Sense is apparently attached to him being in a suit, which is even dumber. That, well, yeah, I didn't really... no, I don't know if that's a spoiler. I don't like all the tech stuff his suit has in Homecoming either. Again, I kind of understand why it's there. Like, the robot lady voice that Iron Man has, he's got as well. And I understand that's to get exposition out. But I didn't like it. Not a mimic, I don't think. Spice? That's not spice, I can't eat this. Or snort this, rather. You don't need to be clairvoyant to necessarily anticipate that someone might be attacking you from behind. Sometimes you just feel it. But the whole shtick with Spidey senses, you have that feeling, but plus a little bit. Maybe they're leaving room for it, like maybe he'll develop and his powers will expand. Oh, I found dragons super fast. Oh wait, have we done a full clear already? No, we haven't. So I kind of want this to be over. Tony Stark is the villain in the Civil War comics, and he's also working with the government, so that's telling. Well, you know what's more telling? It's more telling that he unleashes Spider-Man's most horrible villains to go and find him because he's changed sides, and they try and kill him, and he's okay with that. And the only reason Spider-Man doesn't die in Civil War is because the Punisher saves him. And then the Punisher executes some villains, and then Captain America gets mad and beats him up. And Punisher refuses to hurt Captain America because he believes in him too much, or junk like that. Like Captain America's the one man Punisher won't hurt. Oh yeah, they made him a kid. He's supposed to be 15 even though he's been played by like a 30-year-old. Actually, I don't know what age he is, but they shouldn't have made him 15. It doesn't suit. But it does leave room for it, you know, his powers evolving. Although I think in the poster for Infinity War, whatever the next Avengers film is called, he's wearing the Iron Man Spider-Man suit. Not the one he has in Homecoming. The other one. Like the super high-tech one. I don't like that either. It looks cool, don't get me wrong, but that's not the Spider-Man I quite like. Wait, he's 21? I would have guessed 25, minimum. Also, he does a pretty good American accent, I think. I was actually taken by surprise when it started playing the outtakes on the Blu-ray after the film started. Finished, rather. And at first I thought he was Australian, and then I was listening a bit closer and I was like, oh wait, no, he's English. you know, they're both basically the same. He was 19 when they shot Homecoming? Wait, no, surely you mean when they shot Civil War. Is this just now we've returned this run where I've only been given spice once, incidentally, into gossiping about movie stars? I'm not okay with that. All I wanted to know was whether or not he had spider sense. And he doesn't, and that bothers me. I'm okay with him like not having the ability to produce webs, like him having to make the shooters or whatever. I'm okay with that, that's the way it should be. Eh. Spice? That's not spice, unless I can sniff what's in the bag. Oh, I do have the trash cannon though. Is that deal with the devil thing with Spider-Man still a thing, or have we rebooted that? I don't know if it's been rebooted, but if anyone isn't aware of what Valinar is meaning, I can explain it to you, and it's going to make you hate life and comic book authors forever. Let's pointlessly tentacle something, I guess. Although the potion of... Can I afford both? I cannot afford both. That's a shame. Let's pointlessly tentacle things. In bullet hell. So the way it happens is... Spoilers for like a comic book universe that's probably been rewritten like 4 or 5 times, so who cares? After Civil War, or during Civil War, Peter Parker reveals himself to the world as being Spider-Man. Because Tony Stark convinces him to, because Tony Stark is a prick. And in order to kind of reset the world after Civil War, Spider-Man does a literal deal with the devil to make everybody forget that he's Spider-Man. And I think it's largely considered one of the worst retcons or rewrites or universe resets or whatever the hell you want to call them in history. And I refuse to go anywhere near the comics in which it happens. In fact, the only Marvel comic I've read is Civil War. And I read it out of curiosity to see how it differed from the movies. Hello, Stormboulder! This is why you find comic books confusing? Yeah. You can probably just stay over there, honestly. So he and Mr. Satan just had to deal with it. Yeah, it was real weird. Mr. Satan from the Dragon Ball universe made a deal with Spider-Man so that people would forget he was Spider-Man. And then Mr. Satan won the fighting tournament against Goku. And that was in Spider-Man issue 400. By Akira Toriyama. Thank you, Exponechuk, for 11 months in a row! Woohoo, 11 months! Who knows how to count? Let's put you ahead of the curve. Bye, Lana. You see, comic book writers in America, or you know, Western comics in general, they're kind of stuck doing that kind of crap. Like, mangas can go on for years, but they all eventually end, and then sometimes there's a new generation and whatever, but with American comics, they have to keep on rebooting and starting over in a new, slightly different way as a new generation of kids come along, because they'll learn about how it's been in the older generations and expect the same thing. But slightly different. I'm very, very disappointed we've only had Spice once, but I guess I'll still go to Bullet Hell and see what happens. Might get Spice down here, I suppose. And I'm just debating when do I use the tentacle, because if I lose all my armor prior to finding the Lich, I might need to use it on him. superhero comics need to die as a result. Or they just need to take on a new form. Similar to how mangas are done. But I don't think Western audiences want that, honestly. Like, I know there's been a few more Spider-Men, for instance, to go back to what we were talking about, like, what's his name? Michael Morales? Something like that? He's Spider-Man in one universe. And, like, there's a lady Spider-Man, probably called Spider-Woman, if I had to guess. Like, that's all well and good, but if you ask me who's Spider-Man, I'll say Peter Parker. And I'm only interested in stories about Peter Parker. And it's not even that it's familiar to me, because as I say, I've only ever read one Marvel comic book. It's just, that's who Spider-Man is, to me. It's like I wouldn't be interested in Batman comics where Batman isn't Batman, like some other guy was. Batman has to be about Bruce Wayne. Miles Morales. What did I say? Because I said something similar to that. Did I say Michael? I'm encroaching on territory where I obviously I'm not knowledgeable. It's probably a good thing that guy who worked in his comic book shop isn't around anymore. I can't remember who it was. Although I bring that up every time we end up talking about comic books, because I would deliberately say incorrect things just to piss off his audience. Or shoppers, rather. Probably not my smartest business decision. How did I like the series Batman Beyond? Is that the one where Bruce Wayne was really old and it was set in the future and there was a kid and he had like rocket boots in his Batman costume? I've never watched an entire episode of it and it's nothing I'm interested in. But I have seen it. I know Kevin Conroy still voiced Bruce Wayne. Damn it. Oh, he shot after dying! What the hell was that? A bullet came out of where he was standing after he had fallen over dead. Hello, Cort. I'm surprised you were able to pry yourself away from MMO addiction number 36. Oh, when are you getting your PS4? And are you getting Bloodborne with it? And before you answer, it's not this weekend but next weekend that the Monster Hunter World Beta is. It's not looking good that the PC version is coming anytime soon, as it turns out. Give me spice. Give me spice. Spice, spice, spice. You need spice. You're Spice Marines, but you're not Spice Marines. Might sound like I said the same thing twice there, but I assure you I did not. Steadily approaching not being able to use the sword much longer. Oh, will I fire out 2 tentacles if I use the Abyssal Tentacle? I should do, right? Maybe it should be fun. Pushing back the rival date, currently it says the 30th. Oh, that's still fine. That's, what, 2 days? I didn't tell Cort to buy a PS4 for a single game. I said that Cort would give in and buy it. Because he kept on saying he wouldn't, and I know him better than he knows himself, apparently. He gets addicted to things very easily, and I know how much he loves Monster Hunter, so of course he was never going to wait. The pull is too strong. It's like spice. Monster Hunter for us is like spice. You get some, you want more. And you can't wait. And you're willing to kill for it. Probably. Daka Smash? Are you asking to play... I was going to say Trivia Murder Party, but you know what I mean. Monster Seeking Monster. Oh, it sounds like if Kurt's getting his PS4 this week, they can maybe start playing Bloodborne. Soonish. Oh wait, are you actually getting PSN Plus straight away, or are you waiting until World? Well, you have to get PSN Plus to actually play the beta, I suppose. I bought a PS3 for Disgaea 3. So I have done it, although I don't encourage, or I wouldn't encourage buying a console for a single game. Unless it's a really, really good game. And as it turns out, I did end up playing a lot more games on the PS3 I liked, but I originally only bought it for that one thing. I bought a Wii U just for Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, but that's because I was being paid to play it. So that's slightly different. That's the other thing, there's also a chance of doing more Total Warhammer 2 stuff. That's my contractual obligation rather done. But I could always do more. You're considering buying a PS4 just for Persona 5. Persona 5's good. I intend to finish it one day. I'll go back to it maybe. And Nier Automata as well. If we get hit again, we lose the sword. And I cleared a lot of bullet hell I didn't need to, as it turns out, because it was a dead end on the left. And this was a dead end too. Yeah, I knew you were still playing that weird thing. Why don't you get a job, hippie? Oh, that's right, you're a student. Oh, cheating, wall hacks, ultra wall hacks, mega wall hacks. Oh, thanks for all these keys, it'll be very useful in bullet hell. What kind of pizza do you want for dinner? You're asking chat to decide for you. You realise how many of them are going to say pineapple, right? And they're dooming you to hell. It's a source of deep personal shame that my sister enjoys pineapple pizza. So, what's our first crappy gun? Actually, you can maybe get away with doing this if I don't get hit. It's a pretty fun effect. Almost got hit right there, though. Sure. Is there a heart on the floor? Nope. Pineapple and anchovies. There you go. Get pineapple and anchovies. I'm beginning to think because we got spice in a weird way, that's why it's not appearing more than the once. Oh, there goes the ammo. Because it definitely would have appeared again by now. So the fact it hasn't means that it must be something to do with how I got it. And getting on a boss pedestal might influence it that way. Huh. It's convenient. How did you start casting again so quickly? I know I shouldn't be using this gun as much as I am, especially because one hit and I lose it. But with the helix and heavy bullets, it's actually a very effective setup. Ooh, there's half a heart. That's a start. Now you're all just talking about pizza topics. You've become a cliche, Twitch chat. I want you to know that. Nice. Oh, there's a wall there. Get out of here, Death. You've got the day off. Make it a week, or maybe a year. As it's a dead end. Ooh. I do remember looking into Black Desert Online. I get emails from them about any time they add a new class and whatnot. I don't know how they got my business email, but they have it. And the thing that pisses me off is classes are gender locked in that game, and I don't like that. Seems like a very archaic way of doing things. Would you like me to be more specific? If you want to play as a Dark Knight, you can only be a lady. I don't want to be a lady. I want to be a Dark Knight, I want to be a guy. Also, they should use scythes, and they don't use scythes. Hello there, Mr. Summoner. Get drowned in my airman attack. Sorceresses use scythes? That's even worse. Just be careful not to use up my last balloon while hovering over a pit, because I'm pretty sure that would just drop me in it. Oh, we found the lich. Phase 1 will just empty out this ammo, I guess. I have to keep on going back to the sword because it makes the first form much more manageable. Tedious, but manageable. I also should probably use control to like switch. One more? Nope, that was it. Oof. You little bugger. Buzzsaw death! That's a lot of buzzsaws. Actually, this might be good for the second form because the second form is so big. Yeah, we'll give this a go. And then tentacle the final form. Sorceresses are more like magic kung fu. Well, that appeals, but I like playing as my gender. Especially in MMOs. And I obviously don't mind playing as a lady in plenty of other games like Tomb Raider or Horizon Zero Dawn, etc. But in an MMO, something that I'm going to put literally hundreds of hours into, I want to play as my gender. Okay. Oh, apparently I still got hit, so never mind. Whatever. God, I hate this form. Hurry up and die. There we go. Airman and Metalman's weapons, yep. But now, double tentacles. It's not really doing a lot of damage, but whatever. I paid for this. Listen to those slurpy tentacle sounds. Hey, my speed can actually keep up with this. I've made him Japan. This is like the worst possible time to have done that. Hey, I rolled through that screen. Thank you, Angelic. Oh, I got hit again, but I was reading your name. And again, I will read it properly in a momento. Oh, that's out of ammo. I rolled through that. Oh, that was so close. Finally popped up for me to share. Thank you for 13 months. Would love to play Overwatch with you sometime. I wish you nothing but health and success in the future. Thank you. And that's going to do it for that run. I'm going to call that a win either way because he was dead. That's fine. The bunny luck obviously continues because that was a very powerful run. For the people watching on YouTube, thank you very much and see you next time. Ta-ta for now.